beautiful one with the pool. Oh, okay, you guys. We're about to start this bad boy. Hello, hello. Welcome to Behind the Soul Sign podcast with the Levine Realty Group. My name is Shawnee Levine.
My name is Vershay Ward.
The Brandon Rouse.
I'm Courtney Williams.
And I am Alexis Nolan.
And we are the Temptations. No, okay. So whenever we start our meetings, we always pull these cards. Y'all know that already. So the card. Okay. We're not supposed to do that, but we're not doing that right now. Okay. You know, whoever controls the games control the rules. Okay. Okay. How has the way you deal with conflict changed over time? How has the way you deal with conflict changed over time? Good question.
I'll go first. I feel like the way that I have changed with conflict has been more from like a thoughtful approach. As I've grown older and been more acclimated in like my own business and have more of a name for myself, I actually am more thoughtful in the way that I respond to things, and not just my thought processes, but what the other person may be thinking as well, so that I don't just have a knee-jerk reaction. Because baby, when I tell you, I used to be very like reactionary. So whatever that meant, like if I wanted to react physically, I would react physically. If I wanted to react being loud, I'd be loud. If I wanted just, you know what I mean? So instead of that, just kind of thinking through things first, and it's turned out 1,000 times better. So.
Yes.
I love that. I would say for myself, I'm very quick-tempered, which I've learned through the years.
Y'all don't know Courtney. She is down.
So I'm still working on the way that I handle conflict, but I have found recently, I just I still react to myself, like, you know, in my own space, and just get it out and like take the time to digest the situation. And then if there's 9 times out of 10 there's another party, then I address that party after I've already gotten it out of my system. So then I'm able to address it, clear-hit it, and not be like so amped up off of the initial reaction that I had. So yeah.
For me, I have 2 boys, so I learned along the way to extend grace. And then I am very like Christ-driven, so a lot of times I just take the time to think to myself, really, what would Jesus do? So that kind of allows me 5 seconds. I can react how I want to react for the first 5 seconds, and then respond how I should respond in the next 10.
Okay. Come on, Alexis. Okay.
I definitely should have went before Alexis. I'm learning from my mistakes. I've learned with conflict to not make it that it's not me. It's not me. It's them. Like there should be no real reason you should have a conflict with me. I feel you can have a conflict with me, but I feel like I'm so non-confrontational that every time there is a conflict, I'm almost confused. Like, how did we get here? And then I try to make it more personal than it is, when it could just be they were having a bad day and it had nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
And I don't want to have a conflict with you if it was unnecessary. So I've learned to step back and try to avoid it completely if I can, and not take it so personal.
Okay. Did you used to take it personal?
Very.
You did? Okay.
Because I'm very non-confrontational.
Yeah,
I'm very like trying to avoid confrontation. I'm trying not to be around it. So when it came my way, I'm like, where did this even come from? This should not be happening right now. What's going on? So then I read too much into it. Then it's like, I must be doing something wrong. Where did I mess up at? And now I'm overthinking, and it had nothing to do with me. It was just they were going through something. Yeah. So instead of making it about me, I should more ask, hey, why are you feeling this? Like, dig a little deeper into them. Yeah.
That's how I've grown or changed to deal with conflict, is asking questions. Because, well, for one, I stopped putting my hands on people, and I think that goes.
That does go a long way.
That's definitely.
Let's start there.
I feel like that's a good, great start.
Progress.
That is a great start.
And to do that, like I stopped putting my hands on people for one, and that started with, you know who Tosh? Tosh is our social media brand consultant, right? Yeah. I've known her for quite some time, and this time I was out downtown, and I was with my brother at the time, and like my brother didn't even hear the guy. He didn't even hear the guy, but I heard the guy. I socked him right in the mouth. And then calmly walked off. This man started, it was a whole scene. Really? But after that, I realized the situation I could have put my brother in, and I felt really horrible. My hands all swollen and all this mess. And that wasn't my first time, but that was my last time. Thank goodness. However, Tosh taught me, she said, whenever you're in situations and you feel the urge, like someone is testing you to the point that you want to hit them, just leave. And I used to be this person that, like, I'm not going nowhere. Like, you're going to have to leave before I leave, but for what? If I'm this rattled, I need to go. So that's for one. Now, I stopped getting rattled. Like, nothing is really rattling me too much. But conflict still happens because that's life and that's how you move through it. So what has changed with me dealing with conflict now, I would have to say, is like me asking a lot of questions and like me pulling you to the side. I will confront you. I will ask you like what's going on so that I cannot assume what your issue is. Let me figure that out, because that's my biggest thing with the 4 agreements. Outside of being impeccable with my words, is to stop the assumptions. And that has been my thing. But to growth.
To growth. I'm here for that.
You guys ready to move on? So this is what we're talking about today. Today we will focus on business and personal development, like things that we use to grow. I guess that question was right on brand. What do we use to grow individually or in business development as being real estate agents? Anything that you guys do? I see. I'm going ahead, Alexis.
For me, what I use to grow is social media.
You're very good at it.
Yeah, thank you. No, but social media, like, it is evolutionary. It is forever growing. It's not only worth investing in, but it's worth, like, taking the time to learn.
So you've been on social media using that as like personal development?
Not just personal development, but more so like business.
Oh, business developments. Okay, so we're talking about like posting and to grow your business. Yes, honey, because that's how you got the lake house.
Yeah, that's how I got the cutter out here. Okay, baby, I would just count that as $500,000.
Right. I know that's right. Okay. Period. Y'all been reading any books lately or?
Mike back down.
No. Go, Brandon. Go ahead. I'm just keeping the conversation.
I'm not a book reader. I rather listen to a podcast. Yes. I'm also not listening to any of those either. But any
He's not even going to watch our own episode.
I'm gonna share it though. But I'm just a sponge, so that's why I'm always trying to attach myself with whomever's willing to allow me to attach me to them. So like when I first started, you were my first inspection. Leah, who we all know, that was like my first open house. A key home team, great for apprenticeship and working with them. It was awesome. So just people allowing me to come along with them and being hands-on.
Yeah.
So I have to do it. Like, you can speak it to me, put it on paper all day, but I need to see it in action. I need to see you do it so I can see how that other person reacted. And, like, I need all that to get it into my head of, okay, now this is how I'm going to do it. So, yeah. And I thank all of you for that, because you've all contributed to that in one way or another. So,
You're welcome. For me, I actually do like to read books. That is for both personal and business development. I am more drawn to like self-help books, books that can help me learn something about myself, which is more than likely through the stories of others that have already been successful or on their way to success. So that's one way. I also do listen to podcasts.
What's one you listening to now?
One that I listen to now. I actually just started. B. Simone has a new podcast.
Okay.
She had a podcast previously with a friend of hers, and now she started solo by herself. So she kind of talks about adversity. Like that podcast was doing really well, and she stepped away from it voluntarily for the better of her mental health and the better of just her kind of like pursuing her dreams and succeeding as an independent woman. So that's one of the podcasts that I listen to now. But again, like that's more personal. And then, you know, there's tons of real estate podcasts out there that I dip and dabble into. And then also something that Shawnee kind of put into my ear that I used to do a lot when I was younger, and now I'm trying to get back into it, is journaling. That's something that is like a real good stress reliever for me. Like just picking up a pen and pad and kind of just getting it out and leaving it there is something that has really just kind of helped me grow on a personal level.
Yes, I love that. Yes, I journal. Do you guys what about therapy?
I go to therapy faithfully.
Yes.
Once a month is usually like the first or the second Saturday of the month.
Nice.
But I go in person and I cry on that man's couch, okay?
Okay.
As you should. Yeah.
I used to go to therapy. I've been thinking about going, like scheduling another appointment, because it did really help me. It's nice to just talk to like somebody who doesn't really have anything to do with your life, and you can just like unleash on them, kind of. So yeah, I haven't gone in since before I had Capria, but I used to go a lot, and I've been thinking about scheduling another appointment. But for me, I also just like, from my own experiences, I grow and learn, like, you know, just things that I go through, whether it's negative or positive. Like I find myself, I'm a thinker a lot, like, and I overthink a lot of situations. So like if it happens to be something that's negative or something that just happened, like I always want to think like, how could I have done it differently? So like my experiences are always good for like my growth. And then business wise, also it is my experiences, and just like being around y'all is very inspiring, and it makes me look at myself a lot. Like I admire things about all of you guys, so that just is a constant, like, oh, I want to speak better, like, because I just love the way Rashay speaks. Like she's just so confident, and it just comes easily, it seems like. So like there's things about all of you guys that I admire, so just being around y'all alone helps with my personal and my business development. So
That was sweet. Thanks, Courtney.
you're welcome.
Same. I felt all the same. I used to love therapy. Like I actually was thinking about tapping back in with my therapist, especially since life is changing a bit now, and that personal development piece. Because even like being in real estate, like is really a mindset thing through and through. Like if your mind is not together, honey, you are going to end up in a psych ward, and and you're going to need a therapist anyways. But therapy is definitely important. I wonder how many Black agents are actually even tapping into therapy.
I've never been to therapy. I did have a court-appointed therapy session that I did not I did not engage in the way that I probably should.
Gonna be on the next episode of
So what happened there, girl?
Right.
So I don't really count that, because I don't feel like the therapist wasn't into it and I wasn't either. Because I feel like we both did not want to be there. You know, I just did it because I had to, and he probably did it. You know, it's probably pro bono for him. Like I know I didn't pay him, so. But that is something that I want to do. I just have so many reservations with like who the therapist is going to be. I have reservations of unleashing certain things in my childhood and past life that I've never shared with anyone. Like just a lot of gray areas, but I have gotten the courage from like hearing stories from you guys, and just like I know that Black mental health is becoming more of a topic, so I owe it to myself to at least try. So that's my goal for 2024, is to at least attend 2 therapy sessions and try.
I tell you what, too, the good thing about therapy as well is it teaches you how to work with or communicate with those who aren't in therapy. Like, if we think about this industry and how erotic people act, from the clients to the lenders to the co-broke, like it really takes a different type of patience, and therapy helps you see that as well. Because I'll be on the phone like, I'm diagnosing you with this. And like,
Been diagnosed.
or whatever. So I'm not even mad that you're responding like that, because you should. But it does do that. It helps you to deal with other people as well, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, when I went to therapy, that was one of the things that I was like, surprised or pleasantly surprised, like, oh, like she actually like gave me tools to be able to take and apply to my life, whether it was dealing with family or business or whatever. So it's like therapy, like I think a lot of people just have an idea of what it is, or not wanting to be vulnerable or whatever, but like it does, like a good therapist I think will give you like tools to take out into the world to be able to apply to your life, to be to just have like better experiences. So like for me, that was one thing that I loved about therapy. I'm like, oh yeah, like she would say something, I'm like, oh yeah, I can do that, like like some you wouldn't even think about it, but you're like, okay, yeah. So
Another personal development, business development conferences, or real estate conferences. I mean, the only real estate conferences I've been to has been NARAB. You've been to some.
Yeah, I've been to one. There is an amazing group called Black Girls in Real Estate that is founded by Janine Searcy. Janine, if you see this, hey girl. She's out of Georgia, and she did a tour, a Black Girls in Real Estate tour, and she went to Chicago. She hasn't made it to Milwaukee yet. But she went to Chicago. That was 2 years ago now. But it was just a great opportunity for me to network with other Black real estate agents that are women, number one. And number two, just to be able to kind of talk about topics that we probably wouldn't normally talk about at our brokerage. Like we talked about Airbnb arbitrage. We talked about starting your own investments. We started about building business credit and things like that, like outside of the realtor's mind, but more into like the investor's mind. Because really, to be honest, that's why I got into real estate to begin with, is to start seeing how I could, have more stake in the market. So that's one of the seminars that I've been on, as well as NARAB.
Okay.
None. Yeah, no, but none. But of course, I want to get to some eventually.
Yeah.
When you come in this summer to NARAB, you're gonna have to make that trip, baby. Come on now.
New Orleans, yes, the NARAB. NARAB is the National
I guess that's what we're gonna have to do.
Association of Real Estate Brokers, and they were founded back in 1947 because Black people weren't allowed to be realtors because they didn't like Negroes. But but anyway, so that was founded, and every year they have grown. They are across all states. I mean, it's multiple chapters in each state, and they have a Black pretty much realtor convention every year, twice a year. They have the semi-finals is what I want to call it, but it's not that. It's playoff season. But midwinter, and then they have the annual one, which is in August. I went to the one in Tampa, and then last year we were in Houston, and this year it will be in New Orleans. And I know we're about to eat so good and have such a good time. Like what's your word?
Camaraderie.
Camaraderie.
Say it, Brandon.
I don't feel like I use that word.
That's your
Your
word.
word.
Your word.
Camaraderie.
And spell it and use it in a sentence.
Okay, this is a footnote for me to add every clip
didn't
that I
even know
have
I
of him
be-
saying
I
that
gotta-
word.
Use that.
Yep.
The
Insert clip
camaraderie.
here.
I can count at least
Insert
3
clip
times where
of him
you
saying
have
that
used
word.
that.
Was it all the same day? Like,
No.
No.
Oh.
It was all different seasons.
No, I'm not disagreeing. I'm trying to.
You probably just
Better
don't
understand
realize.
myself.
It's just
In your
like,
head that you don't really
Dang,
realize
that's
that you-
crazy. It's crazy.
okay, what else? I'm trying to think. Are there any other personal development? Obviously, you already know reading is my thing. Reading has saved my
I
life.
want to read.
Y'all, let me tell y'all. We first
It just
started
don't
this off.
happen.
Okay, y'all know behind
I'm
the
a
soul
listener, not a
sign,
reader. I'm more of a listener.
and you like to get in the mud. You
Yeah.
you like the experience, Brendan.
I can't.
You like to get in the mud. Listen, so we have behind the soul sign, which you guys know, the reality show, not the podcast. So check that out. And then, as a matter of fact, okay, so I used to try to force us to read a book a month as a team.
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad
It
that's
was
over.
not a force.
Talk about an epic fail. Like okay, me and Vershaya get down. Wait, it's this one. It was an epic fail as a team. We were
Was
getting out
it?
as a team.
Y'all read the books?
No.
Yes, we
You
did.
wasn't even there.
But
I read.
because I was a silent member, I
You
did
did end
still
up
read the
Which
50
one?
Cent.
50 Cent one? Yes.
I read the 50 just because it was. I was like, they reading the book. It's 50 Cent.
I
Let me
read-
see what
why
they doing up in here. Why they
Okay.
reading this book?
Yeah.
Must be
feel
something
like-
good. And I started.
And it was
Now-
actually.
I listened to it.
You same thing.
I didn't read it.
almost. Yes, but it was good.
It's a good listen because it's 50 Cent's voice, so it
Is
feels
it?
more natural. Yeah.
I read the Four
Hustle
Agreements.
hard, hustle smarter.
Yeah, hustle harder,
And
not
I
smarter, or
read
something like that.
Yeah.
all but maybe 2 chapters of the 50 Cent book.
Of the 50 Cent.
I
book?
didn't finish.
Oh.
The 50 Cent.
What
Listen
about
to
the-
it, though.
the
It's
Four
a way
Agreements?
easier listen.
And then you know what's messed up? Like Caprice knew he was reading that, so then he started listening to it. So like he listened to the whole book.
Yeah.
'cause
So like he
it's-
finished the book
yep.
and read the book.
Oh
And I
wow.
still
Listen to it in the
haven't
car.
finished
I was listening to it for like a week.
So I take that back.
That
That wasn't
was
an
an
epic
epic-
fail. Something came out of it.
I see. This is what I mean when I say like being
50
around
lost.
these people just enhances my life, and I want to read. Like I just bought a book for damn near $16, and
Damn.
I only read the first page, but
Which
it's just
book is
sitting
this?
on my nightstand. And
You gotta
I'm like,
read at
I'm
least
gonna
16 pages.
The Power of One More.
Yes, that's a good one.
Yes, which I need to read that.
Yes, that's a good one.
That would. Yeah, I know. That's why I bought it, but I just.
30 minutes a day. That's
Yeah.
my go-to. 30 minutes a day. Choose the most quietest time for a new mom that you can find
Yeah.
to just take 30 minutes and read every day. And before you know it, that book gonna be gone. You're gonna have so many nuggets from it. You're gonna move on to the next book.
Yeah, I really want to. Like I want to.
Yeah.
In my heart of hearts, I want to be a
That
reader.
that time can be in a car. Not locking yourself in a car, but
Right.
you know.
Maybe in the morning. Shawnee, I just asked her what she does, and she says she gets up and she doesn't look at her phone. She like reads for
Like 20, 30 minutes.
yeah, and then like that's the reward. Since she read, then she can like get on her phone or whatever, go about her day. So
And-
like I think that's.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but a book that taught me that is Atomic Habits.
Yeah.
Ooh, I wanna read
So that's
that.
another good one to
Yeah.
Read. Atomic Habits.
I watched the like 20-minute summary of it on YouTube. The Atomic Habits.
You're done with the book. She
No,
basically
AI
wrote it.
can probably sum up the book in 5 minutes.
Right. Yeah, but
Wow.
that is one of my goals. Sorry not to cut you off. I do want to read. Like I just, yeah.
Well, now that I think about it, I do read. The first thing I do when I get up after praying is I grab my devotion, my daily devotion, and I do read that. So it's more so getting into the other books and finding
The
time to do
daily
that.
devotion, what is that exactly like?
It is called like Be Brave. So it'll
Okay.
tie it into a prayer scripture. It'll tie into a scripture of the actual Bible. And then it basically tells you how it relates to your life or their life. It gives you an example.
Okay. Okay. Before we let Be Easy close us out, just keep in mind, personal development, the way you work on yourself is vital to growing in any industry and being a partner and being a great family member and being a great business owner or even a great employee. We all should be developing ourselves to some extent. So make sure you're tapping in to whatever it is you're going to tap in. Sometimes I listen to trap music and it really gets me going to develop my strong side.
Yeah, Glow.
Yeah, Glow. Courtney.
We're going to get copyrighted.
But hey, listen, Glorilla, actually, we know Dame. So you could come on this podcast. Okay? And we'll
Come on
get
the
you
pod.
We can get you in.
Come on the pod, Glow.
N6.
Yeah, Glow. Okay.
Well, you all, that has been the Behind the Sold Sign podcast with Levine Realty Group. At the end of the day gon' end. Bye, y'all. See you next time.
Yes. Great job, everyone.
That's good.